Good afternoon, people of the internet. Happy 2025. As promised, we have a new episode of Covid-Caddy with a shorter break between videos, thankfully. As you can see by this pile behind me, we're finally going to change everything mechanical left on the car that hasn't been changed, but anything you would consider to be a consumable. The goal is to crack about another 200,000 to 300,000 kilometres on this drive line. This all started, as you would expect, like most mechanics or technicians, where you decide you want to give the car a birthday. It starts usually with one problem. In this case, it was drive shaft vibration. Two brand new drive shafts ready to go in. And then you start to think along the lines of, well, while I'm there, next thing you know, snowballs to this. Rapid fire, left to right. We have the previously mentioned drive shafts, complete units, service-related items, gearbox and engine oil. We have brand new turbo, rear main seal, tool fit rear main seal, gas strut for bonnet, coolant fitting for side of head, engine mounts. We have the two pieces of firewall insulation. The remaining window leg I have to change. Replacement clutch, rear shocks, and right up front, the tandem pump, high pressure diesel pump and vacuum pump. You remember last time we did a mechanical makeover, we fitted a clutch. About 3 weeks after that, that tandem pump that I had resealed previously when I first got the van decided to leak from a part that I cannot reseal, leaking oil and diesel into my brand new clutch. So we'll be replacing those again.
The front fell off. I'd like to make the point that that is not normal. Some of them are built so the front doesn't fall off at all.
It wasn't this built so the top wouldn't fall off?
Well, obviously not. Well, the front's not supposed to fall off for a start. Well, the front fell off in this case by almost. It's very unusual.
So as you've seen from previous videos, this is usually about as far as I tear the car down. The goal will be to put the engine crane on it and then hopefully just simply lift it forward as a complete unit. I'm not quite sure how well that's going to go. We're all poised, ready to go, moment of truth. It's not really an engine crane, but some sort of torsional test of everything I've forgotten to undo. Now that we've had the engine and gearbox out, my time needs to be divided between tear down of items on it and then the replacement of those items, resealing of those items. We're going to do lock a cover gasket again, we're going to pull the sump off, replace the turbo, I'm going to clean the intake manifold. The other half of the equation is going to be cleaning up the engine bay, getting ready to do that firewall installation. I am questioning my sanity looking at all the things that have to come off to replace that. What 300,000 kilometres of EGR does to your intake manifold. Both the turbo and the intake manifold are now off. You can see, this is actually a pretty good illustration. We've got the tandem pump here. It's decided to leak diesel. It's leaked it all down the back of the gearbox, as you can see, all down in onto the flywheel and my clutch, which is why it's slippity-doo-dah. But you can also see that it's leaked across here as well. You start at your highest point, rocker cover gasket's going to get changed, and that should make a fairly significant difference to how wet the backside of this engine ends up being. We will be doing 1, 2, number 3. I'm also going to do the rear main, which sits behind the flywheel. That's the only part of this process I'm a little bit nervous about, mainly because the seal itself houses the hall sensor that the engine speed sensor reads off, the ring, whatever you want to call it, for the hall sensor. It's a $300 seal with a couple of $100 worth of tool needed to fit it if you buy the tool out of China. It's a $2,500 USD tool if you buy it genuine. That's the only part I'm a bit nervous about, because if I stuff it up, I won't know until I put all of this back together, put it back in the car, and then the car won't start, and the gearbox is going to come out again, and I have to buy another seal and try again. We are at the end of day 2. As you can see, I've set up all the heat shields and the intake pipe on the turbo, and I've sat it on there for storage purposes more than anything else. It's getting a bit crowded in here. I've pulled the timing belt covers off. I've washed some. Got to wash a couple of the big boost pipes as well. There's a couple of new coolant hoses fitted in tandem pump. New coolant. I'm going to put it on top dead center as part of the process to replace the rear main seal. Because I'm filming this over the Christmas break, that period of time is dotted with public holidays, and I've hit the point where now I'm waiting for parts delivery to continue with the refurb of the engine and gearbox side of things. So we're going to turn our attention to the other half of the equation, which is the engine bay. It is a grotty mess. It's had oil mist, diesel mist, and exhaust gases leak all over it for probably the good part of 300,000 Ks. So yeah, this is the part where I've got to work out how committed I am to the idea of changing that firewall insulation, because pretty much everything has to come out, or at least forwards, for me to be able to do that. And there looks like a lot of breakable plastic clips involved in that process. I think the brake booster may have to come off. What a way to spend 20 minutes under the cool water of the Karsha. Given it's 35 degrees at the moment in the shade, it's not bad. Bulk of the grime is gone, thankfully. I've got to pick up some colour matched paint because there's quite a lot I actually have to touch up. No better time than now to do that sort of thing. That will be the next step, tidying up areas like leftover from the front end conversion, things like that, because obviously brackets changed. I want it to look as factory as possible. I'm going to paint the top of the outriggers as well, because on the Mark IV generation you see them, whereas on the Mark III that this was originally you didn't, so they didn't feel the need to paint them. So that's next. Ta-da! After all that hard work, we finally have a completed, cleaned engine bay ready to go, ready to receive the engine and gearbox once it's finished. We're all nice and shiny, paint's all nice and red. Definite improvement on the mess that it was previously. We're at the point now, missing gaskets have arrived and we can button up the rear side of this engine. I've had the manifold done. It is now really, really nice inside. Anything was going to be an improvement on what it was before. We have the right exhaust gasket as well. Oh, it was not satisfying at all. I was hoping that was just going to go. Oh, that's pox. Hopefully Volkswagen doesn't get into the packaging business. See that ugly thing with the heat shield on it. It would appear that we are finally now, after 4 months worth of waiting, but not 4 months for you as the viewer, ready to put the engine and gearbox back into the Caddy. The period of time between initially shooting this episode versus now means that it's going to be an interesting memory test to make sure that I've done up everything, put every hose clamp back, but as long as we don't forget to put oil in it, it should be okay. 4 bolts, yeah, easy. A bit fresher after a good night's sleep. I'm going to attempt to tackle the wiring as well as the rest of everything that has to go back in the engine bay. The goal today is to get the front back on the car. If I get really motivated, we'll get fluids in it, prime the new turbo, hit the key, and hopefully it all runs. As the title of the episode suggests, whilst I've been doing the mechanical work on the car, I've taken the opportunity to do, while I'm there, sort of mentality. I get excited about some of these maintenance items that are things that have been neglected or bugging me since I owned the van. One of them is a brand new MAF sensor plug. Another one which has bugged me since I got the van was the broken battery cover lid. I think now that everything that is broken has been replaced and fixed, I think the battery has earned a new cover as well. Watch me break it immediately. After many late nights, the moment of truth is finally here. I'm going to crank to build oil pressure, prime the new turbo, and then hook the fuel back up, and we're going to hit the key and find out. Okay.
little bit apprehensive. About to go on the first test drive, and it's been a long time in the making. Hopefully I haven't left anything loose.
Apologies, you're getting filthy phone footage for this, but we're going to capture the first test drive somehow, don't we? Oop. You clutch pickup point. Yeah, that pulls all right. Oh, we need an alignment. That's pulling up a hill fit for. Be lucky to do that without immense shudder. Well, that's all for this episode of Covid-Caddy. Appreciate you sticking with me for the longer format this time. Do like, subscribe. You'll find Cell Productions on Facebook, Instagram. I think we have a Threads account. Yeah, until next time.